Good morning. How is everyone today? So, um, I don't, I don't have time for a long stream today, so I'm just going to make it really, really short, and then maybe I'll do a longer one tomorrow, just to, just to make up for it. If people don't know or don't like or curious about the timings of my streams, they're in the morning UK time, basically, roughly about between 9 and 10. Now, I could make that firm and fixed in the future, but at the moment, I'm just like, this is more of a hobby than anything else. I'm not trying to do anything crazy serious. But if it becomes a little bit more serious, if I get a little bit more traction with the interest, then maybe I will um, fix a time and date, etc., to make it more of a serious thing. But let's see how it goes. And it's just a hobby, really, right now. All right. I have a few questions on my YouTube as well. So I'm going to answer those after I just quickly go over Bitcoin. And let's have a look at Bitcoin. So yesterday I wasn't bearish at all. I think if anyone watched my stream yesterday, they could tell that I wasn't bearish. And naturally, the price went up. Yeah. So I think this is really important because I think a lot of people don't know whether the price is going up or down. But when traders are not bearish, then the price isn't going down, because the price only really goes down when you get bearish. And most people, they think that because the price is going down, that's when you get bearish. But no, you only get bearish when you see signs of weakness and when you see confirmations of that weakness. And losing levels is weakness, reclaiming levels is strength. And if you start watching my streams, I'm pretty much going to repeat that message every single time. And so just for anyone who's has no idea about the charts, no idea about candles and market structure, the best place to start is just to look at the daily time frame, and basically you can see how the price moves. It goes up and down, and sometimes you get expansions like this. Sometimes you get expansions, but on the most part, the price is always moving up and down. Right? You look at this, it's going up and down. And then sometimes you get expansions. So most of the time, the price is just going up and down. Most of the time, the price is just going up and down. So it's not really going anywhere. It's just going up and it's going down. Let's go up, let's go down. It's going up, it's going down. And not most of the time, so least of the time, you have expansions. And I think a lot of people spend most of the time trying to catch the expansive moves. That's really what is happening. So most of the time people are trying to catch these moves. These are the feel-good moves. These are the moves that make you think like you're the best. These are the moves. These expansions. Yeah. And a lot of people will spend a lot of time losing a lot of money as the price goes up and down, trying to get an expansive move. That's really what's happening at most of the time. Most of the time people are losing a lot of money trying to get the feel-good move. This is the move that will give you that kind of pump, that adrenaline. It makes your heart beat faster. You feel like you're the best. And it's the feeling that people are really after, not the money. It's the feeling that people are after. Because the reality is that most of the money is made in the price going up and down. Most of the money's made there. Yeah. And actually, what people don't realize is most of the money is made by computers, not by humans. It's the computers, the bots that are making the money. And the reason why the bots are making the money is because the bots are also taking the profit too. So they're always taking profit. And the hardest part for humans is to take profit. And the reason why people have difficulty with taking profit is because they're looking for these moves. They're looking for these expansive moves. And the other problem is that most of the time, people take profit, too much profit too soon. And so when they do eventually catch this move, they don't really have a big position. They've basically scaled most of their position out. So they'll catch their move, but it won't be crazy profit because they've taken most of the profit maybe in the first part of the move. So I think it's very difficult to trade, very difficult. But the bias in my mind is always the same. The price is going up and down. Yeah, it's most of the time it's going up and down. And then if you do leave a range, you just have to see what happens, you know. Sometimes you'll leave the range and it will come back into the range. And sometimes you'll leave the range and it expands out of the range. Sometimes it does this and sometimes it does this. And you just never know what it's going to do. And I think that's the first truth that people have to come to terms with when it comes to the markets. You just never know. No one knows. No one knows what's going to happen. And no one can predict the future. Most of the time, it's always based on the past, on what's happened in the past, or what the cycles of the past, right? And so this kind of experience that this experience that's happening now is a repeat of the past right now. We've had this before where the price will rally and then consolidate, and this is in preparation for some kind of bull market. See, we had this kind of rally, we had this long consolidation before the price expanded again. And I mean, we've only just begun this consolidation unless this was the initial expansion and then the consolidation happened, just was pushed up by big institutional investors because of the ETFs. It's very possible that there's a difference in behavior when you compare it to this behavior, because really no one was expecting, and people expected this, but they were expecting this to go much further across and maybe then down before it went up to mimic this, and it didn't. Kind of just took a step up. And now people are now looking down, they're looking up. No one really knows what's going to happen, but on the most part, I think probably what will happen when you look at the past, you'll see that it's likely that we're going to be in a more of an extended sideways, downward sideways motion. That's just looking at the past and what happened in the past before we went up. It's hard for people to see that because of the wider narrative, which is ETFs and Bitcoin halving, etc. And we just have to see what happens. But now, when I was trading, when I was analyzing the charts yesterday, I wasn't really bearish. I wasn't really bearish because I identified this reversal pattern in market structure, this long expansive red candle down here, and then this expansive green candle back up there. It reversed all of this volume, and also we had these lows here, these price lows, and the price came back above those lows. So effectively it was back in the range. That's called a failed auction of the lows, or deviation from the range. And then the other sign of strength that was identified which I identified, was the fact that we had come back in to this range value area low. So there's lots of signs of strength. Now, I think people have to be careful, because when I was looking on Twitter today, and I'm going to go to Twitter now, I saw a tweet by a popular influencer. His name is Crypto Tony. If I can spell his name right. And on the most part, he has good information. He's got a lot of followers. I saw a tweet by him. And what did he say? Here he goes. BTC USD update. Above $43,000. So I'm back in a long position right now. See that? Back in a long position. This guy clearly has no idea what he's doing. Because he's not looking, he's only, I don't know why he only looks at, I don't know, I just look at his charts and I go, what the hell? I don't really know what, I don't think he knows what he's doing. He's obviously making money, but I think in a bull market, it's probably not that difficult to make money. And he's got a system that he's using, but I don't think it's got anything to do with back over 43,000. I'm in a long. Yeah, it's very weird to say that, because it came above 3,000 yesterday. When I'm looking at the price chart from last night, it came above 3,000. So let me see when he tweeted that. It's really bizarre, but okay. So he tweeted it 1 hour ago, so we don't actually know when he entered. He said it's back above 43,000, so he's in the long, but actually the price went back down, and now it's back up, and now it's back down. It's kind of hovering around 43,000. But when I look at the when I look at this range, yeah, even though we had a really strong bullish candle yesterday, I just see that we're in resistance. It's crazy. I just don't understand. Like, we're into the point of control, which is a high volume node, the highest volume node of this range, this whole range. It comes in at 43,687. And we're at the top of this value area range, this value area. We're at the top part. Like, it's literally the worst place to long. I just don't understand. You just can't long into resistance, and all of a sudden he's telling people he's back in a long. So he waited for the price to come up, and this is why I just don't understand this kind of behavior, and I'm going to explain it to you, just to kind of show you how the difference. I said in my previous streams that once we get acceptance back into this value area with two 30-minute candles, here, I'll show you. So I'm going to pull out this value area now, right? Look, I said once we get back into this, in one of my previous streams earlier on in the week, or probably last week, I said once the price gets back into this value area, and actually in my streams from last week I was saying there was strength here, but I wasn't going to long because I wanted to see that we get acceptance back in to the value area low, right? I said once we get acceptance back into the value area low of this range, that would be identified by two 30-minute closes. You could buy the first pullback, basically the first back test, and then you have an easy invalidation, and that was your first entry, the first pullback. As the price goes up, you have an easy invalidation there, or even just underneath this value area low. And since that moment, when I said that's what needed to happen for strength, for the price to show strength, the price just kept on going up, right? That was the place to long. That was just under $41,000. Yeah, $43,000 or into the point of control is the place to take profit and the place to short, not the place to go long. It makes no sense. This is where you want to go long. You don't want to go long here. This makes no sense. This is madness. You've got resistance above you. You're longing into resistance. What you want to do is you want the price to flip resistance into some kind of support, show some strength, and then long. That's what you want to do. It's literally the reverse. You have to be really careful with what people are saying on Twitter. Now, he may feel safe because he's above a key level that he's identified. And I know what the level is. It's purely based on candle formations and market structure. So he's basically saying these highs here, this crop of highs here, once the price got above those, he's not expecting the price to come back underneath these, okay? And if it does, he's out. So he has an easy invalidation. And that he may have a fair assessment of the way the price is moving and how the price is moving. And that may be a really fair assessment. But I think it's really weird that people would say long here into resistance and not long here as soon as we've reclaimed resistance into support. There are so many indications of strength at these lows, so many, like ridiculous amount of indications, and yet he's telling people to long into the highs of this range. And actually, you know, I'm looking for a short, really. That's kind of what I'm looking for. In these highs, I'm looking to short. I'm looking to short a lower high on market structure, and I might be invalidated and the price might go up. I'm looking for some sort of lower high here or failed auction here and for the price to go back down. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for the price to expand to the moon, because 80% of the time the price is going sideways. It's just going up and down and up and down and up and down. That's the reality of how the price moves. So I think it's really important that you be careful. All right, Marve, good morning. It is a good situation for BTC. Yesterday, Google updated Bitcoin's acceptance. Correct, that's true. So what Marve is saying is that yesterday, Google allows for crypto advertising. And he's saying that the ETF got launched in Hong Kong. It found a good level below 43,500. 43 showed resistance first, and they didn't feel to go below 42, and that's a good thing. I don't dispute anything that you're saying, honestly. I really don't. And you're probably right, yeah? I just think it's weird that he's telling his followers to long at 43 when the charts were showing strength at about 41. That's all, yeah? And when you do higher time frame technical analysis, yeah, and when you learn about how the price moves and how the price behaves and what certain things in the charts mean, I saw lots of strength at the lows. Firstly, we came above this pivot low. We formed a nice reversal market structure reversal pattern, like a candle pattern, on many time frames. And we reclaimed the value area low. That's basically what I was saying. I was saying if you're going to tell anyone to long, don't tell them to long into a volume resistance level. Tell them to long as you reclaim the lows of a range, you know. And so you've been watching my streams all week, or last week, or last 2 weeks. You know what I've been saying. I've been saying that. I've been saying this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this, and I'm looking to long, you know. I'm not taking long positions. I don't have an invalidation of 0. I think in a bull market, what's happening is a lot of people have really wide invalidations. They're using cross margin. They have slightly larger accounts, and they're very flippant with how they long, how they press that button. Yeah, I think this is, in a bull market, is a very acceptable strategy to just have a really wide amount. No one is expecting the price to come down to here. No one is expecting the price to come down to 22,000. And it's easy to just long. Easy, just long. Your invalidation slightly comes up on a lightly leveraged account. And eventually the price will come back because we're in a bull market. And most people will make money. And as long as they take profit. And on the most part, everyone feels good about themselves and about their trading technique and their abilities to trade and to read the markets. But I'm not telling people to long into a volume point of control where there's resistance. It doesn't make sense. What I want to see is continued strength, and I want to see these levels flipped into support. And then even then, I've identified some higher levels of resistance, which I'm concerned about. You know, I'm not just going to ignore it. And I think it's a real problem. So I've marked them out in one of my previous higher time frame analysis. We have a monthly level, which is an untapped liquidity level. We have 2 daily levels, which are untapped liquidity levels. And we have some previous points of control from a weekly previous work. I think there's really strong resistance up there. And I don't necessarily think this level is going to hold, but I'm not going to long. Simply because I'm not just going to long and wait for the price to go sideways all for the next few days. It's just boring. Yeah. I'd rather, if I was going to long, I'd rather long a back test of the value area high, but then I'll be taking profit quite quickly because actually I'll be looking to short this area here to go for the price to come back. And again, the problem is the same thing. You're shorting back into support. So you have to take profit. And if the price does show weakness, then you're gravy. And if it doesn't, then you've taken profit and the price continues to go up. Yeah, you're right. So Marvey says I'm right, but he says don't be blind to a strong weekly uptrend. Big new investors were expected. A Sunday low and the Monday low didn't hold. Yeah. So look, we're saying the same thing. And maybe most people just needed to see the strength. I get it. That's true. Let me see. There is a really strongly weekly uptrend. Absolutely. And we did take the lows and the lows didn't hold. You're correct. And I did say actually that this is really bullish. Taking the lows on the weekly time frame and forming this kind of candle is a really bullish candle and is a very acceptable trade. This trade is a very acceptable trade. And I said you can just take it as high as you want. I said this pivot low may never, price may never come back to this again. It's possible. It is possible. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things being said. And I think the thing about the markets is that on the most part, when it comes to a Bitcoin bull market, people should long and they should just long the dips and the price will come back up to favor their positions. And most of the time, that's always based on the momentum of the market. And when I'm looking at the moving averages, I can clearly see the momentum is a strong up. You know, it's a very strong up direction. Look at this. Look at this weekly momentum. Oh my God. We've just had a weekly golden cross. I mean, that would literally, if the price ever got down to 30,000, that would be the buy of the century. Literally, that would be literally the best buy ever. That golden cross and this weekly golden cross may last for years. Pretty much. It's very possible. You can't see it on this chart because I'm using the Bybit chart. Let me go into the index. Look at that. Never had a death cross before. Ever since this token launched, we had a death cross last year. We've just had a golden cross. So But this golden cross could now last for the next 5 years. Marve saying I can buy in and out, so my basket is, it's a stupid heart emoji, I can't see the rest on there, but I make it lighter at the tops here. So that's a really good strategy. So what Marve is saying is that at the lows, he reduces his leverage. He increases his leverage. I'm guessing that's what you're saying. And then at the highs, you're reducing your leverage. And so as the price swings, your overall position is up, but you're increasing your value as the price goes up, and as the price comes back down, you're not losing as much value or something like that. Something like that. I think that's what you're saying. But on average, I think you're probably, I'm guessing you're using some kind of inverse perpetuals as well. And most of your position is in Bitcoin or altcoins or whatever. And so as the price moves up over time, on average, your overall position is always long. And so as you're probably leveraging your portfolio to increase your portfolio size as the price goes up. And then in the highs, you'll reduce that. You're going to reduce the leverage maybe to 0 and let the price correct, and then you start leveraging back up, and probably you'll have a really low, super low liquidation value, so there's no risk of the price coming down to wick you out. Probably, I'm guessing that's what you're doing, huh? Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. Right, longs without leverage 1x. Yeah. It's a really good strategy. I should do it myself. In a bull market, it's amazing. Yeah. It's a really good strategy. I like it. Just make sure you have a really low invalidation. Probably, I don't expect the price ever to come back down under 15K. Never say never. If you want to sleep at night without worrying, just under this yearly wick low, probably. Maybe. This red candle wick low, what was it? Let's see the values. Yeah, 15, yeah, 15K. It'd be very, I think it'd be impossible for the price to come down here, even with the wick. For 100 in the basket, I have 80 to balance for trends. So what he's saying, what Marve is saying, is what he'll do is he'll have his whole position in Bitcoin, and using inverse perpetuals, he'll deleverage at the highs, and as the price comes back down, he'll lightly leverage, making sure that his invalidation, his liquidation, is below a certain level which no one expects the price to come back down to. So I think if you want to sleep safely at night, then somewhere underneath this level will probably be the best level. And obviously some people are going to be playing high risk poker, and they'll be pushing it to probably this level. And the weekly uptrend is clearly up. I don't expect the price to be able to do this. I think that would be practically impossible. And then the only other example we had was COVID. So that's a really good example, because that was when the world was about to end. So a good thing, a good way to just map this out would be to just take a COVID fractal. Let me just do that now for you. Right, so you are still within range on these lows, see. So I think this is the worst case scenario, is be a COVID dump. And based on the COVID fractal, it would liquidate all of these lows. So you're probably, your safest bet would be there, just under 19,000. If you're trying to push your liquidation level, right? I think that helps, no? The other thing about the COVID fractal is that we did lose the 50 moving average first. See that? Came back up and it dropped. So I don't think, and also we had a really flat trend in terms of the momentum. We're not really in that situation right now. Right now, the 50 is very strong up. This is the first time the price has come underneath the 50, come back above it. So I don't think this is ever going to happen unless the price falls back under and then it does that. So I think this is a really safe invalidation here, just underneath this one, this wick low here. You want to do that, and that's pretty safe. All right. Anyway, my point was that it's a really bad time to long. Just quite simply because we're in the we're into the point of control of the value area. And a lot of people on Twitter are saying it's a good time to long. Marve's saying, I guess it's looking for support levels further down or further down. You expect it to return small to 43 before it can reach 44. Have a look. I mean, the thing is, we're clearly into resistance. That's the problem. So you basically just have to wait for the dips, and we're not dipping right now. So let me just have a look at XO charts as well to see if I see anything there for you. Yeah, I'm seeing a little bit of bearish divergence at the moment. See, CVD's going up above this previous rise, and the price is lower. See that? So here the price is higher than there, and here CVD is lower than there. So you're getting longs being absorbed at the moment. It's very slight. It's not crazy bearish divergence, very slight bearish divergence. I can't, that's a short. So we're it's not big shorts. You're not seeing big shorts right now. This whole rise up this morning was quite healthy. Let me see this rise. Hold on. This is the big rise from last night. Yeah, this is a short squeeze. This whole rise was a short squeeze. The reason why you can tell it's a short squeeze is because as the price is coming up, the open interest is coming down, right? And then we started seeing long accumulation with increasing OI. So now longs are all of this longs are accumulating on increasing open interest. So we had our squeeze, But right now I'm seeing a very slight bearish divergence. Very slight. I wouldn't panic so much, not yet. Marve is saying the drawbacks are smaller than last week, considering the outflows to be less. So what's a good place to long right now? Well, I think if we get a pullback to the top of this wick here, I think that would be a good place to long. That would close this volume, this price gap between these candles, because we had an expansion yesterday, and naturally you want the price to fill some gaps. And so I think this will be the first place to fill the gap, and it'll be coming back into the daily 50 moving average, which could offer support. And if that doesn't work, then you're going lower all the way back down to this level, which is this top of this wick. So you're looking at kind of two areas of interest as far as candle structure is concerned. And it's basically these two pivot highs, and that would make sense because that would be like a SR flip. So I think if you're looking to long now, probably try and get an SFP of this low here, or as low as possible. And if we go further down, then it's likely that it will be more of like a something like that. So, maybe not like that. Hold on. Let me see. Go down. Go back up. Something like that. I don't know how it's going to look, but it might not look like this. It might be different, but I'm just saying that it's possible that we're not just going up now because we are under a key volume level, which is the point of control. And it is possible that we actually consolidate here for a while underneath this level. And so if we don't go down, then we'll just be ranging here. But it's likely that if there's not enough liquidity to hold above this pivot high, then we will go down for liquidity. And as long as we're making higher lows, then that kind of continues the trend, because the trend is still now, at the moment we're making higher lows. And so yesterday I was hoping for, and I was wrong. I was looking for a long, not there. But it was I was looking for a swing failure of this level here, and it didn't come because it made a higher low. So actually I should have been more bullish. And rather than try and target these lows, I should have been like, okay, higher low. And so it doesn't matter. I'm not really fussed about that because I'm just trading inverse perpetuals with Bitcoin. But the way I'm doing it is I'm a really small invalidation, and I'm risking 1% of the account every single time. And then I'm looking to expand the account by 1% in value with each trade. Very different strategy to what you're doing. Very different. And you know, I like the way you do it too. It's nice, it's easy. So let's see. For me, this kind of technique makes more sense because I don't like being in negative trades. I like to be right. Wait, I had an idea for a short, but I'm not seeing weakness at the moment, so I'm not going to short. But if I am going to short, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to look for. So we've reacted off the point of control once, which is great, which is what you want to see. So anyone who blindly shorted the point of control with no invalidation has already taken profit because the price has already moved down 1%. See that? So that's not me, but you know, people will do that. People will trade like that. They will just short blindly, maybe have an arbitrary stop, you know, and as soon as they're in profit, they'll take their profit. So that level which I identified has reacted, and that just confirms now that that level is now showing resistance, which is as expected. And you know, to get through these liquidity levels, once you see a reaction like that, that's when people will start, you know, the next time people are going to trade that. So it can either go up and make a lower high, or it could go up to swing failure. But I don't expect this level to just be breached instantly, because I think it's a higher time frame volume level. There's a lot of volume on that level, and this is basically the opportunity for anyone who's trapped, for all of the trap traders. This is their opportunity to lighten their loads. Yeah. And so naturally, a lot of people are doing exactly what you've done, right? Or you're doing. They're longing, because they're expecting higher prices. And as the price goes down, they're over leveraged. And so what naturally, as the price comes back up, this is going to be their first opportunity to reset their leverage, reset the balance on their account without losing value on their trades. Yeah. So what people will often do is they are going to leverage longing all of this range, expecting higher prices, expecting higher breakouts because of the ETF, and they fail to take profit for whatever reason. And so now as the price is coming back down, they're over leveraged, and so maybe their liquidation level is much higher than they previously anticipated. Maybe they had to push their liquidation level up just to compensate for the drop that they didn't expect. And so as the price now comes up, they're over leveraged in terms of their position size. And so naturally what they'll want to do is they'll want to reset their balance on the way they trade. And so this is the place to do it. It's the point of control of this range. It's highly risky doing that, because you know, as you lose the value area low, it's very possible for this to happen, you know, and people will get liquidated, and then you'll see more liquidations. Like, we haven't really seen a kind of crazy liquidation event yet, and the reason why is because people are still leveraging to push the price up because of the momentum and everything that you said. But at the moment we're into resistance, and the reason why is exactly what I said, because people are now looking to kind of reset their positions. Now we have a high volume node slightly lower down here, and it is very possible, let me mark that out, and actually I wouldn't mind seeing that happen, to be honest with you. I don't think we should just go up. I think we should go down first, and I think it would make sense to come back down to here personally, and I think that would be a really nice place to take a long, back test this high for an SR flip, and that would line up with, let me see, not these brushes, no, anyway, let me see where that lines up with. Yeah, that would make sense. An SR flip into a high volume node, and if you want the sign of strength, then you can swing failure this wick low here, and that would be an easy way to see strength return or to show lack of weakness, because what you could experience is, like I said, I don't expect the price to just go up, but however it goes up and then comes back down, you could kind of just wick down to just do that, something like that. And then you have a really nice, you could take that long. Then you have invalidation and you're targeting back up to the point of control. And that would be a really nice trade, because I am expecting on the higher time frame for that higher value node. You see there, you see here where the volume comes out, you can create a high volume node there, and that will act as a support and resistance flip. It's a very high probability trade. You combine that with some kind of fib retracement. Let me try it. It's lower than the golden pocket, so I think it's about the 50%. Yeah, it's the 50% of this one, but I mean, pick any pivot really. They all line up to some kind of fib. On this latest one, it's about the 50%, which isn't fib, but because it coincides with this high volume node and this back test of this high, I mean, that would be a pretty good entry. And the confirmation would be a swing failure, I think. You just get a little swing failure. I like the swing failures because I like that liquidity is taken and the price reverses. So you get liquidation bubbles on XO charts. I like that. I like that. And obviously anyone who's shorting now isn't going to not take profit lower than this point. I think that would be madness. And the other thing you have, see right now what you have are these two green candles are holding the price. So right now the price is above those candles. And what I'm looking for is a loss of that level first. And then when you lose that level, there's a good probability that will fill the gap all the way down to this candle to maybe come back up. I think that's kind of what I'm looking for right now. Again, it'll just be a 1% trade, trading it back up to the POC and then taking most of the profit and seeing what happens to the rest of it. And I've done that many times, and I always get stopped out on the runner because I always try and leave it at break even, but I've been making 1% trades easily in this kind of, and I only really take the good setups. I'm not really looking to just take every trade. There's loads of trades, and a lot of trades I identify I don't take. So, all right, I think that's Bitcoin for today. Longing into that was my preferred trade. Actually, I wouldn't mind a short too, but I'm not going to just short unless I see weakness. And at the moment, we can't see it. So I think maybe the easiest short is going to be a swing failure of that wick high. And then you can trade that all the way back down to that high volume node. And then I think if you don't get a swing failure, it's harder to take. So you have to have really good risk management. You wouldn't probably do 1% on that. You'd probably do less if you had if you went for a lower high. You'd go for less than 1% because it's quite risky. But in my mind, swing failures are the best because that's where people get liquidated. All right. And try those two. I'll send that to David because he's not watching. I'm gonna make the rest of the stream short because I want to go. I've got to go. Busy day. Looking at TRVL, so I'm looking at TRVL, And a couple of things. Firstly, I think we're about to get to a golden cross very soon. Oh gosh, I lost my SMA. Why did I do that? So annoying. Sometimes I click on these and they just disappear. Put it back in. Right. Let me just get rid of this. Anything rubbish. Fixed range. Actually, I want to leave the fixed range. I want to see what the fixed range is saying. All right. We're above the point of control of the whole range on Bitcoin. That's bullish. Right now, the weekly 200, no, the daily 200 moving average is flattening out. It's basically lining up with the point of control. It's offering support. It has offered support in the past. I do expect it to offer support from now onwards. Yeah. So I think in terms of Bitcoin, we're very close to being literally on support with regards to TRVL. We're 3.5%, 4% above support when it comes to TRVL. This is support right now. I think this is really big support for TRVL. And I'm very bullish on TRVL, like super bullish, because on Bitcoin, on the Bitcoin chart, we're showing real strength. I can't see weakness here right now. And even if people might be bearish on the USDT chart, the Bitcoin chart is really bullish right now. Yeah. The downtrend is pretty much over. We have a golden cross to come that would confirm the end of the downtrend. And if I go back 50 bars here, we're losing closes from this range, from this crop of range in the next week. These are all lower prices. So we're losing lower prices, and we're replacing them. As long as we're above the 50 moving average, we're replacing them with higher prices. So naturally, I don't expect the trajectory of this 50 moving average to decline. I think if anything, it's going to carry on and continue in the same trajectory. And I don't even think it matters how the 200 moving average moves. I think we're going to have a golden cross easily within the next probably like 2 weeks. 11 bars, 12 bars, you know, assuming the price holds above these levels. And I think that's a really big step for TRVL, because not only have we reclaimed the point of control, potentially as support, but forming a golden cross is going to give investors confidence about this token, because no one wants to be investing in a token which is still in a downtrend, you know, and most people are going to be looking to accumulate at trend reversal, because that's when they're going to get the best prices without worrying about the value of their portfolio going down. We still have areas of resistance above us. There's no reason why the price is going to suddenly go to the moon. I think that's very naive. It's really naive to think that we're just going to go to the moon, quite simply because we've put in volume on the way down, and all of that volume has to be reversed and more to push the price up. Yeah, when you're putting in volume, yeah, you need volume to get back up above that volume. It's just the way it works. So naturally, the reason why the price wasn't able to get past was because there was trapped liquidity. And like I keep on saying, you need to clear that liquidity first before you can continue. You can carry on with the move. You can't just go through it. And we still have trap liquidity. We've cleared it all the way up to here. We have a little bit of trap liquidity up there. So naturally, there's going to still be resistance as we go up. And that's just trap liquidity. I'm not even talking about price levels or other kinds of levels. Yeah, so we're in the process of turning the trend. And what the hell, did I just delete my simple moving average again? Did I do that? It just vanished. Weird. Oh, okay. I know why, because I deleted in the chart. I was trying to delete these lines. That makes sense. All right. So I think we're in a really healthy, strong position. Once the trend starts turning, we may go flat for a while. And then as the price starts finding more strength, then the 50 moving average is going to start pushing the price up. That's kind of what I'm imagining. And we're seeing pretty much the same kind of behavior on TRVL versus ETH. On Uniswap, that's the place to trade it if you want to just do it straight to ETH. If your base balance is in Ethereum. The point of control, extremely high volume node, is underneath us right now. There really isn't any volume on the traverse back up, you see. So we don't really have much trap liquidity going up, not really. And what's actually happened is all of these wicks that gone up have cleared the liquidity, you know. There's a little bit, this one's cleared the liquidity up to that point. So we have a little bit of trap liquidity here. But once we get, honestly, what I think, this is showing real strength. Once we are able to get above that level, there's no liquidity left, and it will just, the price should just fly in the context of a Bitcoin bull market. Whatever happens in this bull market, I'm expecting a markup in price against ETH with regards to TRVL. I am expecting that because of all of the volume that's coming in at the lows. I don't necessarily think anyone is going to be in a rush to close their positions once we start making higher prices against ETH. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But look, if you look at the way the moving averages are closing in on the point of control, and the way the price is above the point of control, and this is the whole range. This is going back all the way back through to December 21. This is 2 years plus. Yeah, we have unbelievably strong support. At the point of control right now. We have the 200 moving average on the daily chart, the 50 moving average, and the point of control, and the price is trading above it right now. So we've basically flipped the point of control. It was resistance for many occasions, and we've basically flipped it into support. This was a failed auction. So I think, cross fingers, I think we're good, but let's see, you know, the momentum is still flat, and the same as Bitcoin, probably a little bit earlier. I'm expecting a golden cross quite soon, possibly. Let me see when the last 10 or 50 periods. Let me start losing these candles in these lows. So probably possible. This is probably a little bit earlier, probably be in the next 5 days. We'll be seeing some kind of golden cross on TRVL versus ETH. So despite what I'm saying, there's no reason to think that there's not going to ever be a shakeout. And I think people need to be aware of that. Yeah. Just because I say that the price is showing strength doesn't mean there can't ever be a shakeout in the future. You know, it doesn't take much to shake people out, crypto, because of the way the price moves. The price is so volatile. Yeah. And effectively what happens is the price goes down and some big large whale gobbles it up and just takes the price back up. And a lot of people with smaller positions who don't have much experience with how the price moves in crypto and the things that I'm technical analysis, I might tell you that there's strong support, but unless you see it react and play out time after time in the past, you're not going to believe me. There's no reason for you to believe me. So that will shake you out. But I'm telling you, based on this analysis, that we are sitting on very strong support on Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then obviously on USDT, we're still kind of holding this higher range. We had a rejection from the lower range. We're back in the higher range. We've drawn that out right. So I think as long as we're kind of in this higher range, I think that's quite healthy. And I'd expect a consolidation period to continue until we have some kind of next move. It is looking a bit like a flag right now here, but it's hard with like low liquidity candle patterns because they can be quite deceptive. So that's why I usually, when I'm charting, I usually like to use on these lower liquidity tokens the higher time frames, because I'm taking more volume data into consideration. And when it comes to my strategy, I'm buying every red candle, quite simply. Every daily candle I am buying, yeah? And I'm not buying small amounts, I'm buying quite aggressively. So just bear that in mind. I'm here telling you that I'm buying and I'm not selling, yeah? And I think a lot of people are buying and they're not selling. And the reason why I'm buying is because of everything I've been telling you. I'm seeing signs of strength. I'm not worried about the future of this project, not in the context of a bull market at the very least. And, as the price declines, I see that as an opportunity to buy cheap prices. On average, I don't even care about the price right now because I see it all cheap. From anywhere right now, in my mind, underneath 9 cents is cheap. Anywhere underneath, I see this as the lower range, underneath 9 cents. And once we go above 9 cents, there's not much volume and the price should rise very quickly because there's not much volume. And then when you look at the different exchanges, this is MEXC. You see that basically on MEXC, all of the volume has been cleared with this candle. So we have no trap liquidity on MEXC. I don't think there's any trap liquidity on MEXC. So you're not going to see much higher price selling. I think on Gate, there is a bunch of trap liquidity above us. And it's mostly going to be in this candle here, right? Have this outcrop up there. So I think when it comes to Gate, we are going to see a little bit of resistance into the value area high here. Just bear that in mind. And that's coming at about 20 cents. Simply because there's a lot of trap liquidity there. And that's why the value area is a little bit wider compared to the other exchanges. So I do expect on Gate for there to be a little bit of resistance into the 20 cents mark. And then when I look at these other exchanges, this is the drawing from yesterday, so ignore it. I don't see much trap liquidity at all, to be honest with you. That's been cleared as well. So this candle has cleared all of the trap liquidity. Possibly some at the top, but I think most people at the top just sold. There wasn't much volume anyway, and the price declined very quickly. So I don't really see that there's much trap liquidity either on KuCoin. And let me just have a look at Bybit. Yeah, I don't see any trap liquidity on Bybit either. So you have higher levels of liquidity levels based on price, based on candle formation. But in terms of volume, when you get these candles which clears volume liquidity, then the next time it goes up, it'll be a much easier ride. You don't have the same resistance. The caveat is this, there's always a caveat. If we do suddenly go down, then the volume that we've put in becomes resistant. You have to bear that in mind, yeah? So I don't want us to go down. I just don't want us to go down for that reason. And if we do go down, we have to come back up really fast, really quickly, because you don't want to get into a situation when you're putting in volume and you're making lower prices, and then that volume has to now be cleared with more volume to clear that trapped liquidity. Trapped liquidity is something that a lot of people aren't familiar with. And so at the moment, on most of the exchanges except Gate, there's no trap liquidity. Gate has a little bit of trap liquidity at about 20 cents. So just bear that in mind. Good morning, Craig. How are you? I'm almost done, actually. Sorry, it's a bit, I'm in a rush. So I've just gone over the stuff. So, I mean, if you're really interested, you can have a look back. So there's a lot of interesting things happening on this token. And so someone on the group, someone said something on YouTube and also on the Telegram. I just want to answer that question. I don't know if it was any of you guys, because everyone uses different names and I have no idea. So on my stream from yesterday, someone commented it. His name is Form2644. He says, what do you mean shorting TRVL? It's not a futures product, I don't think. And then on Telegram, in the Dtravel channel, I think it was Smitty. Maybe they're the same people. Oh, he said it in the Dtravel channel, but I think he must have deleted it. So, no. Maybe it's Smitty. I don't know. Maybe it was Smitty. Smitty said something else. I feel like I'm watching another Moon Boy that only comes out in the bull markets using buzzwords. I had to laugh at that because it's hard to know, to get the context of humor in chat. If we have a conversation face to face, I'll know if you're being serious or you'll be just joking. So what do I mean by short? I don't mean we could. I think I was very clear in my explanation. Okay, I'll go back to my KuCoin chart where I have this diagram that I had from yesterday. Right now, let me try and explain it again so that people understand. Okay, let me just get rid of these for a second. There is no derivatives. There are no perps. There are no derivatives for this. There's no futures product for this token. There's no shorting. No one can short. I'm not suggesting that you can. And that's my point. I'm just saying, if you could short, you would need an invalidation. And what is an invalidation? So look, there's only one way the price can move in the market. There's only one way. It's impossible for the price to move unless a market order is activated. A market order. What's a market order? A market order is when someone buys or sells at market price. So they want to fill a position, let's say for the sake of argument, 100,000 TRVL, and they want to fill the whole position at market price, whatever the price, just whatever the market price is, and just fill it, because they want to fill their 100,000 TRVL and be gone. That's a market order. Yeah, you can market order sell, you can market order buy. So you just say, I want 100,000 TRVL, I don't care about the price. That's a market order. Those are people are called market takers. They take the orders from the market. And so the other way to place orders in the market are limit orders. Limit orders, you're saying, I want 100,000 TRVL, but I only want 100,000 TRVL at a certain price, and the price might be 3 cents. And so you'll have your limit order there on the order books, and you're called a maker, right? And your order could be sitting there for 5 years, 10 years, 2 days, as long as the price doesn't come down, and as long as people don't sell into your order with a market order, your order won't fill. All right, that's just how it works. I didn't make this up. I'm just telling you this is how it works. So you have on the market, you have market orders and you have limit orders. And the only way, and people don't know how the market moves, the only way for the price to move is with market orders. Only. It's impossible for the price to move if 100% of everyone place limit orders. Yeah, because you'll say, I want it at 3.5 cents. I'll say I'm selling at 3 cents. And that's it. There's no movement. Yeah, there's no movement because you want a limit order at 3.5 cents. You want to sell at 3.5 cents. I want to buy at 3 cents. There's no movement. The only way the price moves is when somebody says, okay, I want to sell at market. I don't care about the price. I only want to fill my order. My order is 100,000 TRVL. And so naturally, the price will start filling 3.5 cents, at 3.4 cents, at 3.2 cents, until you fill the whole 100,000 TRVL. And if your order gets filled before my price gets reached, then I still don't get filled. I'm still there sitting in my order at 3 cents at 100,000 TRVL. But if there are no orders, then the price will keep on going down until your position is filled to 100,000 TRVLs. And if there are no orders between 3.5 cents and 3 cents, then all of my position will be filled by your market order. But you won't sell it at 3.5 cents. You'll be selling it to me at 3 cents. That's just how the market works. And then on the charts, you'll see the candles will form. You have a nice big red candle. And wherever it closes will be the close at the end of the day or the end of the candle period. And that will probably be where my order was filled and where your order was filled at 3 cents. That's how the market works, right? So the only way to move the price up are with market orders. It's the only way. So if everyone that I'm talking to now I've not told anyone to buy at market. Yeah, I've been telling people to buy at limit. Yeah, because I don't want the price to be moved up. I want people to be able to buy cheap prices. You know, I don't want to inflate the price for people. I want people to get involved at lower prices. Yeah, I've been telling people to buy at limit, not at market. Yeah, but the only way to move the price up is market buys. If I was telling people market buy, market buy, market buy, market buy, maybe the price would be 6 cents now or 7 cents now or more, because the only way to move the price up is market buy. So you go onto your Bybit and you say, I want to buy $1,000, and you change it from limit to market and you press buy and you fill your whole position. You don't care about the price. And what you'll see is this candle will form, the price will move up. And if everyone was market buying, then the price will move up and up and up and up and up and up and up. Okay. And the reason why the price is going down is because of market selling, not because of limit orders, market selling. So this isn't a derivatives product. There are no perps. There are no futures. There's only spot. And the only way to move the price, the only way, is with market buys, market buying, market buying, market buying. Okay? And what I was saying is that if we had some kind of derivatives product, some kind of perpetuals, then people could also short. Okay? Now, if you're shorting, it's very different to selling spot. Yeah? Because when you're shorting, you're using leverage. And when you're using leverage, you have to put stop losses. You have to put stop losses. And the stop losses are market buys. Market buy. So if you're shorting, so you're selling, but on a leverage product, and let's say you're shorting here. Let me go to a lower time frame. Let's say you're shorting all of this because you're bearish, whatever you're shorting. Yeah. And then you'll have your stop loss, your invalidation will be like this. Maybe above this wick here. Maybe this is your idea of a trade. Maybe you're thinking this. I'm just going to short, and this is my trade. And if somehow the price goes up there, it's above this wick high, and that's my invalidation, right? You're shorting, you're shorting, you're selling, you're selling, you're selling. But you have a very clear invalidation above this wick high, right? Now, if the price doesn't go down, but goes up, and your stop limit is activated, yeah, guess what happens? You close your position with a market buy. Does that make sense? Market buy. So because the shorts are being liquidated, all of a sudden, at the high of these wicks, where people put their stop losses, they're market buying. You have higher buyers. And that's how the price moves up. That's how the price moves up. That's all I was saying. I was saying that if you want the price to move up, yeah, in this kind of market where there's no perpetuals, the only way to achieve it is this kind of price action. Increasing demand, higher lows over an extended period, or a gigantic whale will come in from somewhere and with unbelievable volume will just buy and they don't care. And the price will just go up, right? But they'll be buying market spot and they'll be buying a lot and they don't care about the price. Yeah. Like those two types of scenarios where whales are just pushing the price up, or you have this kind of behavior with the price where people are just trying to catch the lows and they're selling the highs, and eventually you get some kind of flat top triangle until eventually you have some kind of breakout, right? And where people are just market buying. It's the same thing. It's always the same thing. For the price to go up, you have to market buy. But the difference with this kind of behavior is that people are willing to market buy the lows on spot, whereas with some kind of derivatives product, all you need to do is to liquidate the shorts. So naturally, with a higher time frame chart like this, as we get pivot lows that are descending, then people, if people were shorting this range, then they would bring their stop losses down, and eventually when the price would go up, it would liquidate the shorts, and all of a sudden you have upward pressure of market buys at the highs. So you have higher buyers and then market buying, and that's what pushes the price up. Yeah. And that's all I was saying. And so it's a very easy to understand if you understand it, and it's very difficult to explain if you don't want to learn about how the market works. So I'm not saying shorting TRVL. It's not a futures product. All I'm saying is that if it was, it would be easier to take the price up. Yeah, because most people don't know how to short. Most people don't know why to short, and most people will short badly, and most people who are shorting will get liquidated, and we could easily push the price up. Very easy to push the price up when people are shorting in a bull market. Marve is saying, in a way, the old BTC dropped and new BTC is thriving with steady gain and a steady discount position. Exactly. So the old BTC had no derivatives, and the new BTC is a much healthier, has much healthier price action, and also with derivatives, all of the traders get involved, and most of the volume in the market is trading volume, yeah, not long-term buying and hodling. And so until we understand the why of the market, we're never going to take this 10 or 11 million dollar market cap token to the higher values that we want. Never. Because you're just not going to get that much capital come into this token and just, they're just not going to I can't explain it, but it's just hard to explain the why, but it's just not going to happen. Yeah. So there's other reasons why as well. Like, I'll give you another reason why, and I think this is also a compelling why. People don't like bigger players, bigger entities out there, the whales, the big whales. They don't like having their capital sitting on exchanges. Yeah. But they do want to trade. Yeah. And so if someone has 1 million TRVL, the only way for them to trade 1 million TRVL is to put 1 million TRVL on this exchange, KuCoin, right? And a lot of the big players out there, they don't keep their TRVL on the exchange. Like for me, for example, I'm not a big player, but half of my TRVL is in my wallet, half, 50%. And that's just risk management. What happens if an exchange collapses? And also, I use multiple exchanges as well. I don't just use one exchange. What happens if one of the exchanges goes bankrupt, like FTX? Yeah. So a lot of the big players, they don't like to put all of their BTC on the exchange. And so therefore, what they'll do is they'll use derivatives to trade their whole account, the whole value of their token value, without having the whole value there sitting on the exchange. And then they'll use leverage. Leverage used correctly allows you to reflect the whole value of your account without having the whole value of your account on the exchange. And there's so many benefits of having some kind of derivatives that, unless people are educated in the way the markets work, in the way people behave, then it's an education. It's just impossible to explain to people who just don't understand, right? And so here I am, I'm just trying to educate, and hopefully by the end of this bull market, everyone will be educated, they will begin to understand how the markets work. And it's just an education. It's an education and it's a conversation. I think everyone in the DAO has to understand that if you want higher prices, we need derivatives. We need to enable shorting in this market. Yeah. And if I was to short, most people don't know how to short. Yeah. But if I was going to short, I wouldn't short the lows. That madness. Yeah. What I will be doing is I'll be looking to short, and I wouldn't really be looking to take profit. Yeah. The reason you short is like, I'll give you an example. So look, if the price goes up, let's say this is a key level, key pivot level. Yeah. And if the price goes up, okay, And then and if the price comes back down, then you can short. And what you would do is you short, and then you risk, it's like a swing failure. You risk 1% of your account, or a percentage of your account, but you're not really taking profit, but you'll take some profit. But what that does is it covers your account. It covers your account so that if the price goes down, you don't lose fiat value. Okay. But most people who take short, they're just covering their longs. Yeah. They're not really trying to push the market down. Most people short, like most people short, are also long. Yeah. And so what they do is most people who are shorting are making money on the longs, not on the shorts. Yeah. So they'll have their longs, and as the price comes back down, the same people will be longing. Yeah. So they'll have a big short, they'll short their whole account, and as the price comes back down to key technical levels, they'll be leverage longing on the same account, pushing the price back up. Right. And what they don't mind if their short gets liquidated, and that's when you get the squeeze. Most people who short, they don't mind if their shorts get liquidated. It just covers their whole account position, because the reality is that no one knows the top. No one can predict the top. Yeah. And this is going to become really instrumental if and when we get to the highs of the Bitcoin bull market, because eventually we just don't know how high it's going to get. We just don't know. And you could sell, or you could just cover your long with a short. Yeah. And what happens at the highs, if the price gets above the highs, I don't know, this is a bit higher, but okay, whatever. The price gets above the highs and starts making highs, then you're going to start seeing people short. And that's how the price continues going up, because if you short and you can get squeezed and the price goes up. You get short, you get squeezed, the price goes up. And so basically what happens is people are risking like a percentage of their account, because they're risking a percentage, and then they can get squeezed and the price goes up. Because what happens if the price finally does that? Yeah. And they didn't do that. That's the thing you have to understand. The shorts didn't do this. They're just covering their longs. Yeah. This was the market. The market did this. And either they sell and they're out of position, or they short and they cover the position. And then if they get squeezed, they'll lose 1%, but they're still gaining value in the USD value at the highs. Yeah. So again, this is an education. I can't really explain it without more and more explanation, and I probably will explain it continuously so people understand how it works. But fundamentally, most people who are shorting are not trying to short to crash the market. They're just shorting to cover their longs, just in case the market turns and goes back down, right? And therefore, they don't lose the USD value. And when those people who aren't losing USD value, what they will do is they'll begin to long back in the lows to take the price back up. Eventually, they'll have a bigger long position and they'll squeeze the shorts, and the price will continue going, and you'll have a short squeeze going back up. They don't, like, shorts don't mind being liquidated. That's my point. Yeah. And so when it comes to like Bitcoin, I was explaining Bitcoin, the price action from yesterday, and I was explaining that I was showing on EXO earlier on that this move up, yeah, and it's again, it's an education. But look, you see this move up yesterday? You've probably never seen this chart before. This is the EXO chart. You can see market orders. This move up, you see open interest going down. This is shorts being liquidated. You see these liquidation bubbles? These are shorts being liquidated. So yesterday's move up in Bitcoin was because of the shorts, basically. It wasn't because of people market longing, because they were longing. It was because the shorts were getting liquidated, and their shorts are market longs, basically. And so this was it. This is how it looks like on ExoChart. The OI is going down, the price is going up, and you're seeing a ton of liquidation bubbles. And if you look at that on Bitcoin and the price action of last night, look, this is what you get. You get these two nice green candles and continuation. Yeah, this is how you get the higher prices with a short squeeze, right? We're not going to get that on TRVL, unfortunately, because we don't have perpetuals, futures products. And that's all I'm arguing for. I'm arguing for that. So Marve is saying Doge is accepted by Twitter with 2 new coins and payments are expected. But it's easy to get caught in fear of missing out on over appreciated positions. Oh, that's interesting. Let me have a look. I'll have a look at that. I'm going to go because I really have to go, unfortunately. I just have a bunch of stuff to do today. I do enjoy chatting with you guys. It's fun. And hopefully we can have fun together. God, where's my Doge? I think I need to reorganize my stuff now. It's just too much. I don't think I can find it. Blind. Oh, it must be D. Yeah. Have a look. God, I hate Doge. I haven't done Doge analysis. Whatever. I mean, we're in a really good position. Basically, look. This is the daily time frame. I'll just go to the weekly because this is obviously not all the data. This is just Binance, but we're clearly in some sort of range from there to probably there, probably some sort of range. There's more than one range. It's probably a mid-range as well here, something like that, right? And so you just do a volume pull from that weekly candle through to current prices. And it's easy to see that we're at the point of control. We're above the point of control. So it's probably the best place to buy right now. We haven't actually managed to attack the bottom of the value area low, which suggests that this is actually quite bullish. And if we hold the point of control, then the price will probably go up. Probably the next level of resistance is going to be this kind of like slightly high volume node here, which is going to be just underneath this. It's kind of like an area of an SR flip, like a some kind of area, about 14 cents, probably 14 cents into this high. Let me just quickly do some a fib retracement. It's not into the golden pocket. It's basically the 382. So I think that's the first area of resistance, that 382. If anyone's looking to trade this, that would be a good area to take profit. But naturally, the golden pocket is always a good area, and that's much higher into the value area high. I still imagine there's going to be a bunch of trap liquidity up there because of the previous bull market. But the fact that we've put in so much volume at this range is really healthy for this token. That's kind of what you want to see. And we have held higher prices with respect to this expansion. Yeah. So the fact that we've held higher prices is quite bullish, and we are forming some sort of gonna try and draw it out quickly here, some sort of something like that. I don't know what it looks like really. There's some kind of triangle going on, at least with the lows. Yeah. it should be more of an equal triangle. So let me try and equalize it. Yeah, it's hard to equalize it. That would have looked better, but we obviously lost the low of this triangle on a couple of occasions. So for all intents and purposes, this is the outer part of this triangle. But I think it's very likely that we hold the point of control, and I think a safe entry, if people are looking for safe entries, is a reclaim of this 236 level, top of this channel, this triangle, probably a safe entry. But you're coming straight into resistance. But I mean, these are still big moves, you know. I don't really like Doge. All right, guys, really lovely having you, and thanks for joining, Marve, Craig, and anyone else. And see you tomorrow. If you guys are bored, I've got nothing better to do. Come and see what I have to say. All right, see you guys.